Hey Chopper, this viewer's not subscribed.
Car D Kaizoku.
Welcome to this week's market review for the date range of December 26th to January 2nd. So right after Christmas to right after New Year's. If you guys want access to this market review dashboard that I'm about to show you, you can get access to it by subscribing to my Patreon as a market tier patron. Link on screen and in the description below. So before we jump into things, what has happened in the game since last week? Not much really. I believe that there was a treasure cup that took place in Europe where Sakazuki took the winning spot, followed by Enel being the next most represented deck. So we'll expect to still see Sakazuki and Enel cards go up. And then on the east side, starter deck 13 is in full force. We see it win some small scale tournaments here and there. Nothing yet on the big scale, but I do expect to see starter deck 13 cards and the decks be well represented in the meta. So we're going to see a lot of yellow going up, but a lot of those yellow cards aren't available to us yet on TCG Player on the west, so we won't see too much of their effect onto our market, because a lot of the yellow cards that they run are exclusive to starter deck 13 or OP06. Right, let's jump into the movers. And I think for this week, let's do something a little different. Let's look at the movers set by set. Take a look at each set individually. So we'll start off with OP01. For the past week, the biggest increases are on Manga Shanks. We expect to see that Manga Shanks has only ever gone up, and he has now broken the $1,100 mark. It just felt like yesterday we were anticipating him breaking 1,000. Now he's $100 above that. Red Green Law is still the highest alt art leader by price. He's gone up $23 since last week. Boa Parallel went up. Boa is a popular character, not used in many decks though. So I think a lot of the OP01 increases are just for collector's sake at this point, because there's still no news on if OP01 is going to be reprinted or not. Yeah, we see Luffy go up $18 as well. 8 cost kit, alt art, and regular version went up. If we see the regular version go up, we can assume that it probably was used in some tournament. And the only things I can think of are in a Perona deck or a Yamato deck in OP06. I don't think we see 8 cost kit anywhere in OP05 for us. So I'd be interested to see if it was like a Yamato or Perona deck that made this card go up 85%, up $7. Same with 5 cost Law. This could either be a Red Green Law that maybe placed pretty high on OP05 on our side, or again, probably just Perona or Yamato that runs Law. Everything else is in alt art, so this is just for collector's sake. Yep, Nami continues to go up even more. I do feel like she'll break 300 soon, this 01 Searcher Nami. Even though there's quite a few alt arts for this Searcher Nami, the 01 version seems to be the most expensive one. Let's try to see if there's any decreases for this period, the biggest decreases. Interestingly enough, we do see some decreases. Alt art Doflamingo Blocker, alt art Leader Zoro went down. Alt art Mihawk went down, regular Secret Yamato went down. I do think for the Secret Yamato, the non-alt art one, it's just due to Yamato's price going up when people thought this card would be used in green yellow Yamato, but it was not. So now the prices is falling back down to align with what it's supposed to be priced at, I believe. Everything else doesn't really stand out. Surprising to see a lot of the alt art leaders went down. Yeah, it was only Law and Luffy who went up. Odin, Crocodile, Kaido, and even Zoro went down a little bit. Let's look at increases by percent. See if that paints any different pictures. No, it's pretty much the same thing. Oh, we do see regular blocker Boa went up 20%. This could indicate that there was some deck that utilized this Boa in it. And I'm trying to think which one. It would have to be a blue deck and it's not run in Sakazuki. Yeah, this Boa is only really run in blue Doflamingo. But it could just be that it's a Boa card. Let's look at decreases by percent. Now we pretty much see the same thing here. So let's just move on to OP02. So the biggest increases for OP02 is actually alt art Borsalino. He's now broken the $100 mark, $110 now, up $21 since last week. Borsalino is probably the premier OP02 Navy Admiral to be run in decks right now. He just plays around a lot of the meta right now because the meta is strongly focused on getting rid of 4 and 5 cost characters for like a mid-game, kind of like a tug of war, like a game of attrition or a back and forth kind of game. And Borsalino helps get around that by being immune to KO effects. We see Manga Ace go up to $9.88, about $12 left until he's over 1,000, joining Shanks and Manga Luffy. We see the regular ass Borsalino go up as well, $8.59. This Bounce Luffy went up as well, but just could be a collector's thing, because there's also no news that OP02 is going to be reprinted either. So we might see some collector mindset for OP02 now. Altart Kuzan went up almost $80. Kuzan is run in Sakazuki, but I think people are finding him less and less useful in the deck, but he did go up this week. He might be run in Gecko Moria and Perona 2 in OP06. I'll have to double check. Yep, indeed he is running Gecko Moria in some of the lists that I saw. So it makes sense why his price went up. But I do know Sakazukis are starting to favor him a little less. Anything else to note here? Secret Kuzan went up. I think some Sakazukis on our side, on the west, are trying to tech in Secret Kuzan against yellow. This Katakuri is one of Sakazuki's worst matchups. Ivankov went up, both the leader and then the alternate character. I don't think that means anything. Film Nami went up a little bit. She went down last week if I remember correctly, so it just could be a correction. I do feel like the film cards will go up quite a bit once Uta is closer to release, so it might be a good time to invest in them now. But do note that film kind of dies in OP06, so you might want to get rid of them before OP06 comes. But if you want to make like a quick turnaround, the middle of OP05 would be your best bet. Let's look at the increases by percent. I should have been doing the increases together and the decreases together, so I'll switch doing it that way. By percent, nothing really stands out. It's pretty much the same cards, so let's look at decreases. We see Altart Blocker Marco go down. Kind of sad to see. None of the meta red decks right now run them. Yeah, Whitebeard is more aggro now. Whitebeard and Zoro both have to be quite aggro to compete in this meta. And then Red Purple Luffy doesn't run them. Red Purple Law doesn't run them. Red Green Law doesn't run them. So yeah, this price decrease is justified, I feel. Smoker Leader went down. Also Whitebeard Leader. Huh. Interestingly enough, OP02 alternate leaders all went down. If we expect them to balloon up like OP01 leaders, not that they become collector's items, this might be a good sign to maybe pick some up, invest in them. But yeah, again, they're not meta or anything, but they look to be quite cheap right now. Magellan went down just because Purple Luffy isn't as popular in the west as he was in the east. So is Ninebeard. The Altart Secret Kuzan went down even though the regular one went up. I guess Poor Boys having more influence on this market for this card. Yep, let's look at OP03. OP03, right off the bat, we see the overall price jump up quite a bit. So I'll be interested to see which cards make that up. Altart Leader Katakuri went up. I expected this. Katakuri counters Sakazuki, which is the most popular deck in the format, so this makes complete sense. Nami went up because it's a Nami card. Manga Sogeking went up because all the manga rares are going up right now. The Wanted Kid and Wanted Luffy cards also went up because just could be a collector's thing because the Wanted cards are rare. Altart 8 cost Katakuri went up for the same reason that Leader Katakuri went up. And then, oddly enough, the other OP03 Altart leaders went up randomly, even though the O2 ones went down. And then this Usopp went up, Altart 4 cost Usopp, the Rush one. Because some people tech it in Sakazuki. Maybe someone won with that in a deck list recently. That's pretty much all I have to glean from this. Let's look at increases by percent, see if anything else stands out. Nope, just the same cards. Let's look at decreases. Ooh, Poly went down $1, but that's the biggest decrease. Altart Poly, due to Purple's declining popularity in the meta. Altart Fire Fist went down, also due to Red's declining popularity. 5 cost Marco also going down. Altart Perospero went down, $1.33. Perospero's run in Katakuri, right? It's a 4 of, So, interested to see why it went down, even though it's a staple card in the deck. And the staple 8 drop and the leader went up quite a bit. Everything else is just a couple cents, so nothing to write home about. Let's look at OP04. Ooh, we see OP04 kind of flatline, went down a little bit actually. Let's see what the biggest increases are for this period. Manga Sabo, of course, manga rare going up. Regular Sabo went up as well too. And this is the alt art one. Alt art Doflamingo went up, and I do believe this is directly due to Perona. Yes, Perona runs 4. This one won that Fukuoka event. We saw Doflamingo jump up nearly 43%. He's sitting around 40 bucks now. Very nice, good, nice to see. Alt art Sanji goes up too. He's running every yellow deck, and I think he will be in perpetuity until, yeah, things would have to be power crept quite a lot for the Sanji not to be run anymore. SP Boa went up because it's a Boa card. Dressrosa cards also went up. Kairos and Luffy and Sabo, the regular Sabo. This Kairos might be because of the Kairos leader coming out in EB01 soon. Probably Luffy too, but yeah, I don't know why VV went up. Alt art Bedge went up, makes sense. Bedge is also a staple yellow 2k counter. Yeah, everything else went up like $1 or so, so nothing to really write home about. Let's look at the decreases. SP Sakazuki from OP04 continues to go down. I think he's the cheapest of the SP cards anyway, and he's the only one that I pulled, so this makes me sad. Alt art Miss All Sunday went down $1 only. Yeah, the cards aren't decreasing too much, so nothing really to note here. Let's take a look at OP05. So OP05 is probably the section you're all interested in. It has gained quite a lot over this past week. This is quite a significant amount, actually. So let's see, manga Luffy went up back over 2k, 2.1k right now. It is now officially more expensive than the Oda sign Luffy, and I do believe it is more rare too, since the manga rare slot is a 1 in 3 chance now. But Kid jumped up $93 to $750 almost. Manga Oda sign Luffy went back up, but still under 2k. Manga Law went up $70. He's at $773. So yeah, Law and Kid are almost same price now. It was a bigger disparity last week. The regular Oda Luffy went up $15, like almost doubling in price, 81%. Did people just find out that this card is a lot more rare and people have less copies of it than they thought? I was thinking of like signing one of these and then sending it out as a prize as like a Cardi Kaizoku signed Luffy, but then if it's gonna go up in price like this on its own, maybe I don't do that. I don't know, maybe I'll still do it. It seems like a funny idea. SP Nami continues to go up almost 200 bucks now, but still cheaper than the 01 alt art. But I like this one more. Secret Kaido went up $7. Some topping Kaido lists have started to tech this card, and it was a card that I started to tech too. So glad to know that my call is what other pros think is the right call as well. For that same reason, the alt art also went up for that Kaido. Alt art Borsalino went up. Staple card in Sakazuki, I think it's even more important now because of the mirror. And for the yellow matchup, alt art X-Drake went up. He's only really run in Queen as a meta deck. I wonder why that happened. Baby 5 went up $3. This is a card in Perona. OP06 Perona runs this card. I do feel that we'll see Baby 5 go up even more as OP06 gets closer. Anything else to note? Not really. Everything else is just like $1 over. So let's look at decreases. Purple leader Luffy alt art went down. Sad to see. He is now under $100. Not as meta on the west as he was on the east. SP Kaido went down. The 10 cost secret Luffy went down. Alt art. I think red purple Luffy has been doing better than purple Luffy in the meta, so I'm surprised to see 10 cost Luffy going down in price, because this is like the premier card in red purple Luffy, and I thought red purple Luffy was pretty popular actually, so this could be a good time to like scoop some up before he goes back up in price. Or is it the people who want an alt art secret Luffy going for the manga Luffy instead? But that's like a over $2,000 difference, so I don't know. If you want to bling out your red purple Luffy deck, pick up this secret Luffy instead. Leader Sakazuki continues to go down even though he's the best deck in the format. Wonder why. Same with Enel. Enel is like second or third best, so really surprised that he's gone down. I'm so surprised he's under 100 too, given how like strong of a deck he is. He's cheaper than Luffy, but yeah, he's not Luffy, but still, is Sakazuki that much more popular than Enel? Ooh, we even see Sabo Ultra leader, so kind of like all the OP05 Ultra leaders went down. We even see the regular 10 cost Secret Luffy went down. Yeah, that's just so weird to me. Maybe people are mistaking the purple Luffy leader and 10 cost Secret Luffy for kind of like the same deck, but I think most purple Luffy leaders don't run this 10 cost Luffy. It's really just red purple Luffy who runs it. So maybe people who are manipulating the market don't quite understand this nuance, I'll have to assume. But yeah, that's it for the OP sets. Let's take a look at promos. Yeah, let's look at promo cards for once. So we see this 2023 championship mark will go up $35. Pre-release Luffy, the yellow one from OP04, I believe. Or is it 3? No, 4, right? That went up $29. Yeah, just kind of random cards. A lot of these promo cards aren't used in meta decks, so it's just kind of random. It feels I can't really like attach a reasoning behind a lot of these increases and decreases. But here you can just see it real quick. And if you want to see all of them, subscribe to my Patreon. I'll give you access to this dashboard. Let's look at decreases real quick. The Pudding Offline Regionals finalist version went down $17. Treasure Cup Chopper went down. This is one of the first prize cards, I believe. Online Regionals finalist Otama went down $9. Judge Pack Thunderbolt went down. I don't know why. There's no reason why. These are just kind of random. So here, look at it real quick. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Let's see if there are any starter deck cards that maybe we should take a look at. If they're over $5 and made a big difference since last week. Yeah, it's just 7 cost Big Mom, which is now getting more popular. Enel is running more copies of her. Hina continues to go up. Good to see. And then you even see the decreases start already. Queen went down 39 cents. Yeah, nothing really interesting here, but we do see that starter deck cards. It's up since last week, but it did like a peak in the middle of the week and went back down. So let's look at movers by set. So the biggest movers for this period is OP05. It has increased $432 since last week. The promo cards went up $263 since last week. OP01 continues to be increasing in value, $100 since last week, $135 to be exact. Followed by OP04 at $119, OP03 at $72, and OP02 at $32. So for once, OP04 is not the last in increases. We'll take a look at set value. Let's exclude promos and starter decks. Let's look at OP for now. So the total value of each set, OP05 will always be the highest one due to Oda Sign Luffy and Manga Luffy, but you guys have heard me say that for the past few weeks, so I'll just skip over that. And then OP01 is still the most expensive after that. And then 02, 03, 04, that's been that way for the past few weeks. Interestingly enough, it looks like the most expensive OP set card in the game is Manga Luffy at 2,000, followed by Oda Sign Luffy at 1,900, then Manga Shanks at 1,100. Then the rest of the manga rares show up here. Sabo costs more than Sogeking. And then we see OP01 cards, and actually we see OP03 Katakuri being $190. It's so weird that Sakazuki is the most popular deck in the format, the best deck in the format, but he's nowhere near 190. Meanwhile, Katakuri is. I guess Katakuri is just a fan favorite character. But yeah, then it's just all OP01 leaders, OP02 leaders. Oh, even Whitebeard is quite expensive, proportionate to how useful he is in the meta. Let's take a look at starter decks. So starter deck 4 is still the highest value one, thanks to Queen. Queen is carrying the value of the deck. Then starter deck 6 has a bunch of staple Sakazuki cards. So yeah, Great Eruption and Hina are almost like $20 a pop now. And then 7 cost Big Mom has risen in popularity, so we see starter deck 7 go up in value. Brûlé too. Brûlé is in that starter deck and can be flexed into many yellow decks. Let's take a look at set value trend. And we'll remove promos. So by set, OP05 continues to increase in price, we can see this very obvious increase. OP01 as well, it's a gradual increase, but it's still very apparent that it's going up. So as OP02, OP02 recently has gone up quite a lot. OP03, however, it went up a little bit, but it's not as drastic. And OP04 has gone up the least. It does look quite stable around this under $2,000 mark. And then the overall state of the game, it has continued to get even more expensive. There was a very slight dip in the middle of December, but since then it has recovered and increased to the highest it's ever been, which is something I've been reporting for the last few weeks now. So I wonder if this game will ever get cheaper, but judging by the data I have since the 15th, the game gets only more expensive, so I hope that lights a FOMO fire under your ass maybe. The best time to get cards is now. No wait, the best time to get cards is yesterday, but now is the next best time. Let's take a look at card value trend. Let's remove manga rares and promos. Ooh, we see that red green law like go up the most out of all the cards here, it looks like. And then Leader Zoro is actually starting to like trend downwards actually. And then Nami continues to trend upwards. And then OP01 Doflamingo has gone up, but then took a sharp decrease around New Year's Eve. Wonder what happened to Doflamingo there. What is this blue line? Katakuri continues to go up. Katakuri is kind of interesting. It like went down, jumped up, went back down again, and now it's going way back up again. And what is this orange one here? It is Whitebeard. Oh yeah, when he was announced to be illegal again, he jumped up quite a bit and then starting to go back down because he still is not super meta even with all the cards unrestricted. And the last thing I'll look at is what is this red card? It is OP03 Nami. Okay, Leader Nami. I don't think Nami's been winning anything. It's just a Nami card and Nami's popular. So that is the reason why this card has gone up. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this week. Again, if you guys want access to this dashboard to do what I just did or look at anything else you want to look at, you can subscribe to my Patreon as a market tier and I'll grant you access to this dashboard. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's market review. If there's anything you guys want to see for next week, let me know in the comments below. I'm open to showing off any other things that I might have missed. So my key takeaways for this week's market review is maybe look into the OP02 alt-art leaders. They were the only alt-art leaders that went down this week for whatever reason. And then be on the lookout for green and black and yellow cards for OP06. And then Sakazuki cards will retain their value going into the next set because he's still one of the best decks in the format. Can't wait to see how EP01 shakes up the meta as well, so we'll see how that affects the market too. But for now, if you could give this video a like, let me know what you think of the market reviews. Even subscribe if you're not already subscribed, that would help. And I know it's like lame to have to remind people to do that, but for some reason it works, so I guess I'll swallow my shame and ask. And bye.
Card Kaizoku.